a sorcerer.
Hey guys, welcome back. Playing Burning Crowns. This is part 2 of the games. We just had a pretty dramatic first hour, so let's
go
figure
be
out.
big damn heroes.
Yep. What's the next part? What do we want to do? So we just saw.
I want to talk to the king.
Yeah. So let's get shit on. Okay.
Naleski is being brought to us as we speak, right?
Yep.
All right.
I mean, I threatened the shit out of those guards.
Yeah. So Naleski Sertova comes in and is shocked, right, at the scene.
I mean, there is a guy with his head cut off, and Swan's standing there with a sword still dripping blood.
Yeah.
I think at this point...
Well, I think it would be... Well,
I've wrapped him in a
Hold on. Well, I think it's pretty fair to say that the king doesn't go anywhere unless he's escorted by guards in the first place. So I feel like there's additional guards around them.
That's good, because I'm going to need them later.
Okay, so...
Littlemir's probably here by now, too, I would imagine.
Naleski, as you can see, we've done as you asked. We're working on getting your cousin, Demetrius. Sorry, the prophet Sulius. Out of character, that was intentional to remind him that there is a familial. The prophet Sulius is preparing an exorcism ritual and gathering experts.
I like covertly like fucking pinch Swanna does something like fucking idiot. He doesn't know there's a demon in her. Like break the news.
Yeah, he's what are you talking about?
There is a devil inside of your sister.
How dare you say that about the Queen Regent?
It's literal. It's
Regent,
literal.
if I may. You and I.
This is an ugly truth. That's an ugly truth test, because otherwise he's going to get super mad at you and it's going to scold you for even thinking about that. Because that's so like, how can you believe that?
Sure.
Right. I think it's. I have to look at it again. My gut says obtu.
Yeah,
but
it's somewhere around there.
Ugly truth about a loved one.
Right. But yeah, that's what made me think of it. Because technically they're a loved one, but they're not like Lannister loved one. It's just they love.
No, sister. it's not the loved one.
So,
well, that's great because I'm still
ugly truth about family, right?
Yep. Sounds right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Obtu.
All
right. Well, I need so many successes. I need 4 successes. I have 5 dice.
That's excellent.
What's the failure consequence?
Yeah, that's a good question.
I think it was that the king flips out.
Right.
Has a temper tantrum.
Yeah, it's going to scold you and censor you, essentially, and tell you to get out of here.
All sorts of failures.
Basically, you won't have a chance to even try to convince him of anything.
We cannot
because you just... Yeah, so as soon as you say that and stuff, he's like, "Get out!" Right? Like you spoke plainly to him, and
he's not in a position to receive it.
I want to double down and command the guards instead of the king.
About
this situation. So my plan is to be like, the king doesn't know what he's talking about. This is a sorcerer right here telling you there's a devil. The king is upset because there's family. He asked us to get involved earlier. You know that the cousin is an exorcist type person. like, we need to do this, guys. The king is upset.
Can I? Because I've been so devoted to not have Swan brand himself a traitor. So as he tries to co-opt power from the Kingsguard, can I just like punch him in the kidney and shut him up before he gets to that point?
That's up to Ronald Swan.
I feel like you can punch me in the kidney, but that's not going to shut me up. If you have something,
I want to give myself
something to say to me before I do it.
I want to basically step in front of you, right, and be like, let me just take over the conversation for a second, right? Like that's what I want to do.
I will make a bargain with you then. Swan's going to be like, fine. You have this opportunity to convince the king that this is what needs to be done, and if you can't, then I'm going to take command of the situation. If we
there's not enough time for that to happen. The guards are coming to escort you out now. So
Sure.
you have a shot to do something if should you want to, but otherwise they're going to apprehend you because
All right.
per the king's orders for that.
I'm
It seems
going
pretty
to-
reasonable. Like,
Yeah, it does.
there's someone you just killed someone in the bedchamber of the queen. Like,
Yeah, Swan is holding the
what
bloody
the
murder
fuck?
weapon.
Like,
Yes.
demons now. Like, you know, like
he drew naked steel in a room where the queen is sleeping.
right. Like this is.
I mean,
yeah,
that's
I get
it.
you.
So, I mean, if Mason isn't immediately jumping in to do some
So-
convincing,
I would like to. So as they move to apprehend Swan, I would like to like go to Noleski. I was the one who initially convinced him that he should like let us in here, and so I'm being like, dude, listen up for a second. You know I got your back here, so just like listen. So when I go to him, I'm like, please order your troops to wait for a moment. There is truth to what is being said here. I swear it upon my order and upon my skill. The queen, and I can show you, is possessed. It is probably not of her own doing. The criminal in charge is probably dead on the floor. If this is not tended to by myself and by your former cousin Aurelius, this is going to end badly. You must trust me. I have studied with great people. I know what I'm talking about. This is my forte. And if I am wrong, she will come to no harm for it.
He holds
But
his
if
hand.
if I am right, you have to step up and be the regent Brevoy deserves.
Well, I
And
feel
make
like
the tough-
I feel
make
like he
the
holds
tough
it.
call.
I feel like that's
Yeah.
that's not the test. Isn't necessarily. I don't know because is the test to produce evidence or is the test to persuade him?
here's
My-
the
my-
thing.
my
Don't
te-
you
my
know
test-
that he's not the regent, though? You
I know.
literally know.
I know I'm forking falsehood. So what I'm doing here is I want to convince him to be like, no, don't arrest Swan. Like, don't throw Swan out. This is actually true. The sorcerer is proclaiming this girl
Yeah.
is possessed, and we need to deal with it.
I know.
You need to trust me to deal with it. And if
Yeah.
I cannot, and I added the caveat of if I cannot deal with it, you're gonna have to face up to some tough choices in
Yeah.
front of you, my friend.
In the movie, this is. Yeah, exactly. All right, I see it. All right. Yeah. So
All
now this is your chance to step in.
All right.
So this is.
Persuasion, I feel like.
Yeah. Give him a moment. You're swearing. Okay.
All right. I am persuading. I am wanting to add sorcery because I know what I'm talking about.
And you know where the evidence is, right? So
Yeah.
you should probably give yourself a die advantage for having evidence as quote unquote supplies for this test.
Yeah, I will do that. I will also add falsehood for adding
Right.
that little thing at the end. I will add etiquette because I have it now, and I'm trying to speak to him and be like, listen up, you're like regent, blah, blah, blah. Please.
I don't know. I
Okay.
feel like the thing to do with etiquette would just be to obey the regent's order and get the hell out of the room.
But when you have to speak up against a bad decision made by your regent or by
Fair
your better, you
Yeah.
must still be pleasant about it, right? Unless it's Swan, in which case just go all in. But okay, and I guess because I'm pointing him to the symbol and being like, "Behold," and this means that, then I want to take for symbology. And finally, because this is for the fate of Brevoy, let's do astrology.
This is where your astrology roll explodes 12 times in the wrong direction.
Yes, it absolutely is. All right. So here we go. What's the up I'm looking at, and what's my failure consequence? What's his will, I guess? I'm targeting his will.
5.
All right.
Failure consequence. Boy. I mean, being arrested is not a question. You're proven. I think the consequence to failure is that you still might be proven right, but you spend some time in the dungeons. All of you,
All right.
as this
not
mess
there.
gets cleared up. Well, of course not you. Sorry, everyone in the room, right, including Conrad and Swan. You basically are going to be detained.
First off, that's
Until
Marquis
this-
Ronald Swan.
Sure, you're right. My bad. I misspoke.
Sweet.
It's a bad habit.
I understand.
All right, so
no, I did
basically
it
the-
last week too.
The failure
So-
consequence here essentially is that if I fail this, I get swept up in what he's doing to Swan. I'm like, oh no, you're not off. You get in the pile.
exactly. Right.
Cool. Let's do
He's
it.
like,
Rolling.
this is too much going on right now. Let me just. You're getting, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I know. I am 1 under. I fail.
okay. Well, so then you guys spend a few days languishing in jail. In the dungeons.
I need to protest this. So I don't feel like I am just gonna go with the flow of that. We need to deal with the situation. So we can't spend time in jail. So yeah, we're gonna have to escalate. You with me, Swan?
What do you want to say, Sulius?
I thought that they were getting escorted out so that I would have enough time to like try to stop this from happening. But it sounds
well,
like...
I mean, they're getting escorted, to jail, right? They're like, we're figuring this mess out. In the meantime, we're gonna hold you.
All right. So are we being put in like literally in jail? Are we being like put under house arrest?
No, literally jail, like danky ass prison jail.
To the black cells.
Yeah.
I mean, this is it. If you're wondering where the moment that Swan has decided the Sertovans have been ruling for too long is, this is that moment. When the little child throws a temper tantrum and throws Marquis Ronald Swan in jail.
Yeah.
So are they going to jail?
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, we only had enough time for one play, and I gave my play to Mason, and Mason failed.
Yeah, you're not charged. You're not charged with anything yet. Like, and then should you guys not want to do anything, a couple days go by. I feel like a health test or something might be in order, to see if you get sick. They don't really feed you.
Are you serious? They're not going to feed us?
Hold on. Yeah.
Wow. This thing.
Well, I mean, no. Here's a question: do you want to eat the food they feed you?
This ends in no way but murder. That's all I'm saying, Eric. Like
let's do this.
That's fine.
Wait,
and then they unlock the cells and they apologize and things have been cleared up.
Let's not do that. Go,
Hold
Sam.
on. Yeah, because the thing is like either I get back to Natala's room and they're being escorted out and I see that happen, or I get to Natala's room and Noleski is there by himself. So I'm not just gonna let the chosen one languish in a cell unfed for 3 days because I literally have a belief about him not dying, and people died in cells all the time.
You might get pneumonia.
Correct.
He's been coughing recently.
So you tell me which happens. Like, do I get there too late and they're already long gone, but like there's just guards at the door, or?
No, I think you see them getting escorted out, right?
Yeah. Is Noleski there?
No. Obviously he's went back to doing other shit. Why would he escort all of them to jail? That's what guards are for.
Sure.
So
yeah, you see Aurelius approaching with like probably more pissed off and like he's just sad and angry and upset, probably more so than you've ever seen him. And he sees them being escorted away in chains, and he like stands in the way of the guards and says in an icy demeanor, "What do you think you are doing?"
Just to clear up the fiction for a second, I don't think we're actually manacled. But yeah, okay. I get you.
So you say that to the jailer?
To the guard, who's leading them.
I say, "Step aside, prophet. King's orders."
Aurelius.
You have an issue, take it up with them.
I believe I will. Where is Noleski?
I think they shrug and just walk by you. Like, what do they care? They're not going to answer your question unless you command them. They have a job to do. Also, they don't like you because you gave up their... Like, I feel like people don't... I mean, they respect you in a way, but also I don't think you have a lot of capital to throw it out right now.
Not in the castle, probably.
Not in the castle. Yeah.
Among your house soldiers.
You're popular. Yeah, you're popular with the people, but not
Aren't
necessarily
there two
Sertovan.
Different kinds of house soldiers, though, right? There's the Sertovan guards, and then there's like the palace guards who are
And they both probably are not a big fan of the guy who who revoked his noble title.
You don't revoke noble titles. You don't do that. That's not something you do.
I will look to Swan to see what he wants me to do. Does he want me to let them take him and go talk to Noleski, or should I intervene here?
Yeah.
That's a great question.
That's a really good question.
Out of character, what do you want to do, Sam?
I'm interested in both. I have a really cool idea for what I'm gonna do if I talk to Naleski, but at the same time, like using faith to try to like literally stop these soldiers from taking you to jail is also pretty epic. So,
I mean, I'm always down for a faith roll. Let's stop this here.
All right, cool. So I look to the chosen one, and I see that he is not going to be taken to jail, and I will say I will look to the these guards as they are trying to pass, and I will say, I believe at least a few of you were there on the day where they tried to hang me. If you do not let the chosen one go immediately, things will be very, very bad. If I can intimidate them, I will try. Otherwise, I'm just going to go ahead and roll faith to try to literally stop these guys from doing this.
I mean, I guess you can try to command them, but like they're under the king's orders, right?
Yeah, I mean, sure. I want to at least give it a try because I don't want to literally burn these people alive in holy fire or chain them to the ground again. But if you force me to, I will try to do so.
So what's the consequence to failure?
They try to force their way past me with swords.
Yeah, so I think
out of the way.
I think that's maybe what they say. The jailer probably says something like, "You're interfering with the king's business." You know.
Cool. Let's give this a try here. I'm guessing it's a will test again.
Yeah.
Uh,
They say a man has died in the queen's bedchambers with them. This is not, and the king has ordered us to arrest your friends here, right? Your name has not come up yet, prophet. But you can join your friends in jail as much if you would like.
That's a good consequence. Yeah. What's this guy's will?
4.
Is there any extra die I can get? Like, were any of them there, like, as a miracle worker? I'm trying to, like, leverage that they're, like, literally, like, this. I was trying to, like, threaten them. That was kind of the angle I was going there. No? All right, cool. Let's roll it. Base on 4. Oh!
There we go.
I'm going to re-roll those 6s.
There is a chance here. We can do it. Ah, no, alas.
Nope.
I mean,
You
is it
you blew
4
the
for
initial
4?
luck.
No, because it's doubled.
Oh.
Double up.
So it's 4 against 8. So I needed to get a bunch more successes.
Yep. So you get thrown along with a lot into prison as well.
Can I make a faith roll to try to keep that from happening?
No.
All right.
So upon being
They grab you
thrown
as well.
ourselves-
Yep. A couple days, unless something happens and you want to change the fiction. A couple
Definitely.
days. Okay.
Definitely. So as we are thrown into a cell,
Mason, I have no idea why I leave you to talk to anyone. You have consistently failed to talk to literally everyone you've ever spoken to.
was my argument that invalid?
Well,
Naleski's
the king
clearly
appears to believe so.
the regent boy, and he is noticeably upset by his sister being
Yeah,
out cold
I'm
and
aware.
you having killed her doctor, because
Yeah,
that is what
he
he
wasn't a
believes.
doctor.
Boba. Swan, Ronald, for fuck's sake, listen. You must.
I needed to take command of that situation.
No, you must understand that he does not know what you know. You cannot
I'm aware
tell.
of that.
You cannot tell a boy of 16 who has no reason to believe magic even exists that his sister is possessed by a demon out of nowhere, where he believes her to have pneumonia or the rumbling rot or something, and then just expect him to go with it. He doesn't like you.
I feel like Swan doesn't know that you've already tried to show this guy you're magical by disappearing from his balcony. So he can't just be like, he knows you're magic. But yes, Aurelius.
Thank you for trying.
How's your cell over there, Aurelius?
Are we not in the same cell?
Eric?
Eric?
No. You guys are all in individual cells in the Black Gate, in the Black Dungeon.
How's your cell over there, Aurelius?
Passing fair. Would you all prefer to wait here, or would you like to leave?
Do
We
they
should
not
leave.
call Abadar the Lord of Keys?
Exactly.
Praise Keesus. We need to get out, Aurelius.
All right.
This I know they just intend to keep us here for a few days, but we cannot be sure Natala has a few days. This is a shitty situation. This could be benign or it could be horrible, and we need to just deal with it as if it's going to be horrible.
Have these horrible and heretical people taken from the prophet the relics of the faith that he was bestowed? No.
Yeah, no, I mean, if you're in jail, yeah, they absolutely did. They stripped you of any belongings on you.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, of course they did. So you guys don't have any of your items. You're just wearing your clothes as they throw you in.
Well,
that's all locked up somewhere.
The thing I'm talking about in specific is a ring. The ring that I got. If they take that's the question.
Yeah, they take your jewelry.
Bummer.
Well, then I can try to miracle us out of here.
Actually, before you do that, EricVulgaris,
Yes.
I happen to be well acquainted with the secret passages of this castle.
Yes, you are.
It would surprise me if one such passage did not lead through the cells.
Yes. Absolutely.
All right? Is there a chance that I could just fucking lean on a wall and be out of here and help my companions escape? Or push a thing.
I
or
feel
turn
like-
a thing.
I feel like it's reasonable that starting off fictionally without some sort of role, one of you three are within one of the has an exit.
All right,
One of you
cool.
three. I will leave it up to you, master of studying of the secret tunnels, which person has the free exit. Should you
Maybe.
want.
Maybe when you're
But
thinking-
anything else would require there might be other access ways, but that would require extra wises or some sort of knowledge. Does that
Sweet.
sound fair? Sound
Yeah, it
reasonable?
does. It does.
Perhaps.
What are you saying, Sam?
I said perhaps while you're thinking of which of these cells might have a passage, you hear Aurelius muttering to himself, cursing that they took his ring.
What is that ring even? You haven't been wearing it for that long.
It is the ring of Saint Andon, a relic of the faith. Those
That is-
heretics will pay dearly for taking it. It is actually quite illegal.
They're just doing their job. Look, give me a moment. Sit tight. I'll get us out of here if I can. And my first act shall be to declare, because why not, right? Like, if I know the secret passages, let me be the one who's in the cell with them. I probably fucking walked into one of the cells just like knowing, yep, this is the one that has the door in it. Oh dear, I am locked up. So doing that, I just fucking like turn a thing on the wall. I lean. There's a slight like sound of something shifting, and then Mason is not in their cell. So from this position, Eric, would it be possible for me to get the others out of their cells, or do I need to get in possession of the key and unlock the cells and then get out?
Get the ring.
This would probably be a wise and
Right?
some kind of like secret tunnels wise, maybe
Hidden ways.
Yeah, hidden ways wise. A failure
Sweet.
condition would be that you have to get the key and do it manually.
Wait a second. I can do this better. Can I use secrets wise because I have that opened?
Yeah.
All right, I will do that. And I will.
You are trying to establish that each of those other cells have passageways out of it, and rather than having to go get the key to let them out.
Yep, I would absolutely do that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
If I can, I would like to fork, as well as I'm able here, I would like to fork history, because I know of this from studying the history of this place. So I'm like, oh, yeah, this is about that thing.
Reasonable.
Yes, and I would also like to fork Great Masters wise, because I am using the knowledge of Yavanan the Red, whom I hold to be the greatest architect of his age, commissioned to design the Ruby Fortress, and whose secrets I found was a dragon crypt.
That's true. Okay.
All right. And this has never come up before. I will use cartography because I have I have mapped this. Not only do I have an instinct about mapping this like things out when I go there, and I've been traveling these passages, but I have cartography, and therefore what maps there might be of the place I have read and understood, where others would look at them and see lines.
Okay. Up 2.
All right. Up 2. Let's
He's
roll.
literally like, there's 2 feet of passageway missing between these walls.
We might make it yet.
Oh,
There's a
come
fate
on,
in
buddy.
there. Yes, there
Oh,
we go.
you just got it. You're good. Each of them
Right.
have an exit.
Sweet. All right. So let me just add the persona. Yeah, not the
I
persona.
think when
the
you're
fucking
coming over to
face.
So,
get Swan,
you guys-
he's adjusting his gloves.
So, like, you guys you haven't committed a crime, but now you've committed a crime, right?
In the moment we get caught, we have definitely committed a crime. So what Mason does is like before they venture into the tunnels, I think I want to be clear about what we're doing. I want to talk to the others and be like, okay, before I get us out, we need to agree what's going on.
Swan
And
is
I say,
adjusting his gloves, and it's just like, we're going to have to occupy the capital.
Wow.
All of our troops take over the palace. The queen cannot be allowed to be infested.
You have a quick tongue for speaking, very bad things, Ronald, but I'm sure you know my opinion on that already.
I'm trying to save that family from itself.
I understand, and I am too. We need to get the chains of the underworld off of Natala. Now, I can get us out of here, but we need to agree what's going to happen when I do.
Yes.
I can get us out of here, and I can get us probably to Natala. But
I will need to obtain...
once we do, we will essentially be guilty of kidnapping or, well, if we get spotted, we will have stolen the queen so we can perform the exorcism. And I promise you, no matter what, Natala will not be understanding of what we're doing. This entire thing was her idea to begin with, and she will just take the opportunity to have our heads removed from our bodies. So...
I cannot leave behind the relics of the faith.
And I'm sure you will not be required to. Maybe once we've done what needs to be done, we can return here quietly and wait for a couple of days.
No.
Swan's gonna give it to her. He's like, I'm not leaving behind that sword. That's Abadar's sword.
Those relics were entrusted to me. I will not leave the castle without them.
Listen, I might change my clothes every day, but that's good armor.
Aurelius, are you sure this is what the future holds for you? Will you fight the powers that be for this, where you don't have to? I'm not throwing a test at you, I'm asking. Because if you say yes, I'm helping. But if not, then I'll just be like, okay, then let's not do it.
Aurelius says, those relics are not mine to lose.
Okay, I respect you. Let's do this. I'll get us out of here. We'll go to Natala. We'll get the thing out of her or deal with it however we must. Then we shall try to get your ring back and we shall return here. And hopefully be found free.
Here. That's not going to happen.
If we don't return here, we will absolutely be found guilty of these crimes, you understand. But if we are in here, then we will not be the ones who spirited away the queen.
Mason, if I am to do this exorcism on the fly in this sort of fashion, I need that staff and a ring. I cannot do it without them.
Okay, let's go.
This mortal body is not strong enough.
Look,
we need the sword. In case anything happens, you know what must be done, Mason.
I have no choice but to trust you on this. Just know this is brash and stupid, but I mean, we're us, so let's do it. And then suddenly there's that shifting sound I talked about. Moments pass, and then first with Aurelius, like a section of the wall of your cell slides open. And I gesture out, I'm like, come on and be quiet.
Yep, I follow.
And then I do the same, but I can't. With Swan, it's like a piece of the floor. You just like raise a stone up. Come on.
Swan Mario's in it.
All right. I would like to take us to Natala's room.
No, we need our stuff. We literally just had a discussion that we need.
I thought you were like, yeah, we'll get your stuff, no problem. Just go away.
Let's walk for 2 miles. Yeah, we're totally getting our stuff. Guys.
They really hide that stuff. Natala's room. Oh, while we're here.
I mean, is this something we need to make a roll to get, or do we just
No,
see like a wall opening, us grabbing our things and equipping, and then going to Natala's room?
Oh no, you're having to make a roll to have access to your shit for sure.
All right.
That stuff's kept secure in lockers and
Probably
stuff.
like there's a guard sitting on like a chair with his legs up, and there's like a lockbox with our things in it.
He's probably like looking through your shit, being like, "Oh, that's cool." Like,
Yeah, fuck that guy. So okay,
Is
so
he touching either of the holy relics?
sure, let me roll a 50-50 chance. Tails is yes. Yep.
all right. It's like hand over the mouth of Aurelius, but like
Yeah, he's holding the ring. He's looking at it. He's actually probably trying on the ring.
If he's trying to wear the ring, I would
Yeah.
like to try to charge and bodily. I would like to try to beat the crap out of this guy with my fists.
All right.
I want to I want to hold you back as I'm indicating, and I want to be like to Swan, be like, stop, help me, fucking hold him back, hold him back, bro, hold him back.
I
You
think
While we
hear-
do this right.
Let me ask a question. If our stuff is sitting out, right, that means both of Swan's swords are sitting out.
Yeah.
If the prophet is running forward, Swan is going to be running forward, drawing a sword and stabbing this guy in the back. As usual.
Guys, hold on. Can I just like stop real quick? Can I just stop you guys real quick?
Sure.
Are we playing? Are we prepared to play fucking Burning Criminals? Is this what we're doing? Is this the game that we're
isn't it.
playing now?
I mean, listen, Eric, I want to be very clear here. Like, in 90% of the end game here, I'm going to fucking have to murder Natala, and I'm going to murder Noleski, because right now I'm in a very bad mood.
I know, but I understand. Like, I just want to make sure this is the game we want to play.
I don't think we're
Right?
going to end up being criminals, man. I think we're going to end up being the people who hold the capital.
Yeah, I think we're gonna end up being
I think we're going to
revolutionaries.
I think we're going to start a
this
civil
is-
war.
Criminals, revolutionary, whatever.
No,
Like,
so this,
I'm just saying, this is we're playing overthrowing Brevoy now.
If
Is this what we're doing?
If we're
I just want to
doing
make
this,
sure
the
this is what
narrative-
we're doing.
If we're doing this, the narrative will change. I feel like as long as we have the option of doing it like low key, we should try it and let failure be the thing that pushes us to dodging everything in the world.
All right.
That's reasonable.
So what about this?
If you kill this guy, there's no way around it. You've escaped jail and you've murdered someone. You guys are dead.
I mean, so
Right,
that's
like-
only, that's only
first
the
off,
case
I'm a
if we get
noble.
found
This
out.
shit happens all the time.
Escaping jail, probably not. But the thing is, so in my opinion at least, if we do any series of bad shit and then get Noleski to sign off on it, then we're good.
I mean, but
If
I'm
we
gonna
do
probably
any
have to kill
series of,
Noleski.
if we do anything else and don't get Noleski to sign off on it, then we're not good.
All right, I'll
So
tell
the
you
quest-
what. Here's
Yeah.
how it goes. Ronald knows all of this, and despite the fact he really, really is upset with Noleski right now, he probably turns to Aurelius and Mason, who are struggling to fight, and says, "Shh, I'll hit him on the back of the head with the sword."
All right, take him out quietly.
All right.
Actually, never mind. None of us are really light-footed at this. Damn, where is Sumara? All right,
And while you're
let's just-
talking, Swan just rushes forward,
let's-
gets the sword,
yeah, like,
and
let's
sword
just
bashes
jump
him
him.
on the back of the head.
jump him and knock him out, just like
And
fucking
my
three-man
intention is
tackle
to
the guy.
not kill him. It is to knock him out from behind.
Yeah.
Sweet.
This is, what's that? Power versus what? Is it speed? Like,
Wouldn't it still be sword?
s-
I mean,
Yeah.
power's fine. Power's
I could
fine.
see brawling or sword or power. I think it's GM's call there.
sure, but what is he fighting back with? Or is this just an
I don't know.
obstacle of his fort?
You could run this as a like us trying to be stealthy and avoiding capture, or you could run this like just tackle him and knock him out. In which case, it's probably a versus test, or you just set a naked.
Well, it sounds
obstacle.
like you're quickly grabbing a sword and knocking him out with it.
Right.
Yep. But we're,
Seems fair.
we're attacking him from behind while he's distracted.
Sweet.
Coming out of the wall.
Coming out of the wall. I really feel like we should get some advantage dice for this, no matter what skills we're using.
Yeah, I'll give you a die circumstantial advantage for this.
Perfect. So
All right.
what am I rolling versus what?
Power, because you're it's not necessary. You're not hitting him with the sword like you would. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Mm.
You're the sword in this could be a brick, right? Like it's you're
A versus,
blunting.
a versus
yeah.
test, perhaps, versus like Swan's power versus his fort.
Yeah, that makes sense. So it's
I
a
will-
versus against his fort.
I would like to help Swan, and the way Mason would do this is by basically, as Swan is rushing forward and grabbing the sword, Mason is also rushing forward as the guard is like, what is that sound behind us? And Mason's just like throwing themselves around his waist and like bowling him into the side of the wall, trying to hold him in place while Swan lines up the blow.
Sure.
I am also helping, and the way I am helping is by literally just like diving and just attacking this guy's hand, trying to rip the ring off of his finger. I'm just like,
you grab his hand and you bite it off by his finger.
The consequence of failure of this is that you don't do it quietly.
All right, so I have I have 2 helping die, 1 advantage die, and I'm gonna put 1 Arthur towards this. What am I rolling against?
Versus Tessa's fort.
Okay.
So just roll this up 1.
Come on, 4. I got 4.
I got 1.
Whew!
All right, you do it. You knock him out.
Sweet.
So while you guys are like struggling with him, so I was like, hold on still, hold up. Yeah! You know, I don't normally use that end of the sword.
I take the ring off of his finger.
Yeah.
I get my stuff.
I feel like we have a speed palette swap where it's like swoosh, and we're all in our armor and clothing and stuff again.
While this is happening, Aurelius is like cursing about how that there will be serious charges levied at the House of Sertova for trying to illegally possess artifacts of the faith.
Can we just all agree in this moment that what we're doing is against the law? And no matter how we might feel about this, once we have dealt with Natala's situation, we will do what needs to be done to have Noleski fucking sign off on it so that we don't have to deal with hanging, because I don't think the rope is going to snap again.
One way or another, we will not hang for this, Mason.
Okay, let's do this.
Okay.
Okay.
So
I want to make sure it's understood that Swan says that in a voice that makes it clear that he's like, I'm not going back in those cells, man. I'll murder
I ain't going to jail.
I ain't going to jail. No, I'm with you. So let's do this. So I think we like tie up the guard and leave. There's probably fucking like he has manacles. Like this is like the quartermaster's room of a cell or the chamber.
yeah,
cell,
you
so.
put him back in one of the black cells, I guess.
Yep.
Yeah,
Unconscious.
there you go.
All right.
And
Sorcery! How did he end up in the air?
Magic.
fine. And like cut to us like fucking stepping out of like a fucking statue.
Where?
In one of the upper towers, as close to Natala's quarters as I can get.
I mean, I don't think it would be unreasonable for you to get to Natala's quarters.
That's sweet. I would love that. So
Later,
in that case,
historians
fucking
will call this the Swan's Passage.
and in this case, just because who knows if there is a guard in there looking disrespectfully at a key or a lock or any sign of Abadar that might be possibly misconstrued as anything, I'm gonna be like, Aurelius, why don't you stand 5 meters in that direction while I open this passage and have a look?
Look, I just want to point out, Aurelius was literally just got yelled at about how he's like terrible as a prophet, he's a terrible priest, and then immediately saw someone disrespecting holy artifacts.
Yep.
He lost it.
Yeah, and I'll be like, why don't you please try and just wait over there with like hold Swan's hand. Let's use the buddy system here. And I fucking like I slowly try and push this thing open and like see and like actually fuck it. I would like to check if Natala's alone before doing anything. And the way I do it without fucking causing a like mountain of fucking trouble, like a statue moving and say like making a ruckus, I would like to call upon a rat, possibly snake meat, and like have him fucking crawl in there and see if there's anyone in the room.
Failure condition: a swarm of rats. They are all over everything.
The consequence of failure of that would be the conditions, how favorable the conditions are of the room when you guys want to enter it. So that makes sense.
I don't mind making a test for it, but I feel like I'm in a position to make it without a test because I have a trait that just flat out allows me to speak to rats.
Yeah. Okay. But the question is how. So the question is how bad is the room though?
We could make it with a die of fate if you wanted to.
Sure, this is kind of. This is like a Blades engagement roll. Is what I'm thinking about this, and I'm trying to think of this in terms of a way that you could make the roll for it.
How about this?
Like perception or something, and if it's a bad perception, then it's a bad room. You know what I mean?
here's how I would suggest we run it. I would like Natala to be alone.
Right.
If we roll a die of fate and it's 1, she's alone. If it's not 1, then she's not alone, and you tell us what the complication is.
Fine. Let's die fate it. That works. That works fine for me.
So what he's trying to get you to do is
All
roll
right.
a 1 because
Nope.
we rolled garbage all day.
All right. So
There's King's Guard stationed in Natala's room. Of course there are. Right.
All right. How many do you see? Let's say snake meat. Why not? Why not keep it with the rats we know?
What is that
6.
awful noise that Mason is making with his mouth?
There's 6 people
Yeah.
stationed around, looking around at different stuff. Probably 3 or there's probably 1 person dedicated next to the bed. There's probably a couple of people at the windows and other people at the doors, and they're all relaxed, right? Leaning against shit, being like, "This is our job."
Thank you, snake meat.
They're probably talking about how what they think of what's going on.
Sure.
Right? They're
Did we bring
probably
any flashbangs?
So I am.
Is anybody saying anything about the queen being possessed?
yeah. Of
So,
course, that was
remember-
brought up, being like they said that
remember-
she's possessed. She's clearly
Remember, I can speak rat. Snake meat doesn't speak human.
who was the person who and who was there, but I'm just saying things that they would be talking about, right? These are the voiceover lines of the room, and then they would be like, who is the
our Metal
person
Gear
who was
Solid
killed,
moment.
right? Who is the person who was killed, and why were they with the queen? What is
Who's
going
that ninja?
right? Why? And then those they probably say Count Ronald Swan, and that Mason person, the sorcerer person. Do you think they did something to the queen? Well, I mean, they're in jail, so we're gonna figure that out soon enough. What do we care, right?
In
We don't
the
get paid enough
comic
for that
book-
shit.
In the comic book version of this, the image is definitely two scenes. One of them being the bedroom, one of them being you see the wall, and then it's inside the wall, and we see the little speech bubble coming through the wall from them, obviously
Yeah.
muted, being who did it? Count Ronald Swan. And then there's a tiny little speech bubble coming from our side. This is Marquis Ronald Swan.
Yeah. Love it.
All right.
Perfect.
I want to
All right.
ask Eric if this is in any way possible before I attempt to do it. I want Swan to burst dramatically from the wall with his team and be like, I'm in command now. The king is distraught and emotional over his sister, but it is clear that the queen regent of Brevoy, all right, queen, dowager queen, whatever the fuck, Mason, whatever you want to say. This is not part of the speech. This is the proto speech. This is
Can
The
you jump out
queen-
and get control?
the queen dowager is in dire need of an exorcism. There's demonology and devil shit afoot. Let us do our job.
Yeah, 1 second. Let me look up obstacles.
Infinite. So,
Well, the game is say yes or roll dice,
Yeah,
and so we're gonna roll
absolutely.
dice, and I just need to know what it is.
I would like to I would like to argue that I can affect this situation before we try this nonsense.
This is
because I don't-
undoubtedly command.
Yeah. I don't object to Swan doing it at all. I would like to see if I can get as many people out of the room as possible before that. And I would like to do that by creating a distraction outside the room.
Well, command is only will, and that doesn't make any sense. That the will would be that's
So remember, Eric, it's just
You
like the
do it.
situation where I was trying to persuade the Raven is you can add conditional obstacle.
yeah.
you can-
I mean,
You can disadvantage the roll to be like, no, this is op 3 plus 4.
the problem is that I don't know if this is 7, 8, or 9, but
All right.
you're gonna literally be like, you were arrested. You're gonna come out of a wall and be like, get in the time machine. There's no time to explain.
I mean, if
kind
you're
of thing,
telling me
right?
there's no chance that this is going to happen,
no,
I'm
this-
probably going to have to kill
He's
my
very
way
explicitly
through.
No.
telling you there is a chance.
I'm explicitly telling you there is a chance. It's just like an op 7.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's with 2 dice. That's not going to happen. Like if Swan
can try
knows
it.
that,
Earn the test.
if Swan knows that he walks out there and everybody's just like, get him.
You can't. They're King's Guard and they're ordered general. You can't.
Right.
Yeah,
You know what I
I'm
mean?
coming
Like,
up with
it's
another
7.
plan, Eric.
let me
I'm
let me
coming
just
up with
Let
another
me be very
plan.
clear. Yeah.
let me take charge here. I have something I want to do, and I think I can do it no matter what we do following it. So, as Snake Meat returns with the info, I would like to then not speak to rats, but use my magic to call upon the swarm of rats that we have seen before. And I would have them cause a fucking ruckus outside and down the hall, so the guards will have to respond and leave maybe as few as possible behind in the actual room, so we can do whatever the fuck these two chuckleheads want to do.
Sure, you want to cause a ruckus in the hallway.
Yes.
With rats.
With rats.
Yes. I think the up was to summon the horde was up 3 last time we tried it.
Yep.
All right, let's do it. So, I am going to be forking for all the marbles. We are rolling sorcery. I'm taking my time. I am forking...
Sorcery is going to get banned in probably.
This sounds about right.
At this point.
I am going... Luckily, none of them know this. I'm going to fork secrets-wise because I'm using the power of secrets while doing this. I'm going to fork the same thing I did last time. I'm going to fork Great Masters-wise into this because I am using a technique that is not my own. I'm forking astrology.
Because you can.
Yes.
Because burning.
And it's fucking necessary. And I'm forking tactics because I'm creating a distraction. So I'm being like, come hither, rats, and do this thing.
I'd allow it.
And here we go.
First top 3. Got it.
Crushed. Okay.
Don't forget tax.
Yep, let's do tax. I will spend the margin here to give myself a bonus on my tax roll.
Against your fort?
Yes. And the ARP here is 3, so roll. All right, tax-free.
Got it.
So yeah, the Mason, like, as they receive snake meat, they're hunched down, and then they whisper to snake meat. And when they communicate, we hear them like basically talk in this many-voiced whisper. And doing so, it becomes this ethereal thing that is everywhere and like around you and behind you guys. And then suddenly, like, rats start, like, fucking crawling out of the woodwork and coming out of every nook and cranny until they're just, like, fucking sailing through the hallway. And then I say something that's clearly, like, a command to them. But what I'm actually doing is I'm ushering them to do this plan I have. And then they just, like, scurry down and into the darkness. And then seconds later, there is a commotion in the hall. And hopefully as many guards as possible will leave to deal with whatever the fuck's going on.
Yeah. I think half of them go check it out. Right.
Sweet. So we're down to 3. I have Snake Meat do a second scouting expedition real quick and be like, there are 3 now. Okay, cool. There are 3 in there. We need to do something now. Go. So and I push open the fucking thing.
Oh, okay. Well, I push Sulius in front of me and I'm just like, bind them.
All
hoping
3
you can
of
break
them?
magical chains or some shit, right?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
But while that's happening, Swan is going to draw his sword behind you and take up a defensive position. He's not going to charge at anybody, but he wants to be clear that he's in command now.
So the door opens, you push Sulius out, and what do I see? Just so that I can have a frame of reference.
You see 3 guards immediately shoot up and grab their swords and yell.
Okay, I'm going to say, hold your tongues. There's something afoot. It's terribly dramatic. Believe me, you have seen what I can do. On the veracity of your mortal souls. If you do not listen to me now, if you do not stay your hand, you will all burn.
Yeah,
I mean, to save the queen from a terrible peril. I'm helping.
Yeah,
yeah. So I would like to fork in falsehood because, like, I mean, it's definitely a dire situation, but they're not literally going to burn.
I mean,
I won't allow falsehood.
Okay, well, that makes my...
Because this is actually true.
Sure.
Technically speaking...
I was going to say, yeah, if a devil pops out of it, we're all in trouble.
That's not guaranteed false, yeah.
I would like to fork...
it's conjecture. It's conjecture, but not false.
Abadar-wise?
No. This has nothing to do with Abadar. It's about devils.
Well, I said it I
Oh, wait,
I
their soul?
am the vicar of Abadar, and that I'm saving.
Oh,
their
yeah. Sorry.
soul. And
My
then
brain was on a different wavelength. That makes sense.
only because you said I can't fork falsehood. Can I fork ugly truth?
Yes,
Excellent.
absolutely.
What kind of odds am I looking at here?
Before you do that, Swan, are you helping? Are you saying anything to the same effect, being like, stand aside, nerds?
No, I think Swan.
Maybe
is a
get that
would-be-
command in there?
Yeah, Swan. That's tough, right?
6 it'd be the ob.
What's persuasion looking like, buddy?
It's a 7. So I have 9 dice to throw at it right now.
Are you factoring in a helping die from me?
I did not, so that would be that'd be 10 dice right now that I've got.
I'll tell you what, Swan with the sword out is I would love to add persuasion behind this. Like, it is in all of our best interests to get the devil out of Natala. We cannot allow our queen to be corrupted by these dark forces.
Sure. So
Cool.
that's 2 dice help, right?
Yeah, before I roll this, what does failure look like? Am I going to take a wound? Like, am I going to get stabbed?
They probably attack us.
Yeah, definitely gonna be attack.
So a fight would essentially start.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Cool. All right. Awesome. So 5 dice. I only have 1 persona, and I'm not going to use that right before I might get stabbed. So let's see how it goes. Base ob 6, you said?
Yep.
Fucking hell. Whew.
I will re-roll those 6s.
Yeah.
What do they say?
Oh shit, Phil, you're right. Like,
There is.
he's like, I fucking knew it. I knew she was. I knew it was some kind of occult shit.
You saw the mark behind her ear too?
No, it's
You threw it for you.
mole. No,
Go
but
to
they
the door.
rumors. They do the rumors of like the guy who was killed. It's like, so he was a summoner, right? Kind of
He
thing.
was
like,
a summoner, gentlemen. Go to the door and hold it against anyone who would come in. We don't know what Chalaxians might come in to interfere with this ritual. We must pray. Oh, you know what? Swan's probably just like, are any of you devout Abadarianists?
Abadarians.
Abadarians.
No.
All right, hold the door then. And Swan's gonna do the sword down, kneeling in front of Natala, and just start praying for Abatar to
Swan.
free her soul from the horrible monster demon that is currently hiding inside it.
Cool.
Ronald, I say
And,
as I shake your shoulder.
And Abadar, please grant
Ronald?
me the patience to deal with sorcerers constantly in my life.
Please, Abadar, do. I need to talk to Swan.
AP, your camera's out of focus. It's really annoying me.
Oh,
There we go.
Sorry, friend.
While
I'll help you.
While
So,
this
go on.
conversation is going on, like, because we can cut back to that, but I just want to clarify, I'm beginning the preparations for this ritual.
Yeah, Swan's
Super.
beginning his preparations too.
yeah. Ronald, this is Natala's room, right? You said you fucked everywhere?
Yes, yes.
All right.
Abadar, please forgive Mason for her foul language. She
Please,
knows not
like-
what she says.
Is there anything in here that you know that she holds very important to her? Any personal treasures? Anything that is of sentimental value?
Eric, is that true? Do I know any such things?
Yeah, she has a not a doll, something of a childhood memory, something related to her childhood.
Like a family portrait.
A mirror,
saying,
a mirror,
a
a hand mirror, like a hand mirror. Yeah,
So Swan's still not
made of
answering
scrimshaw.
Mason directly. Swan will just be like, and Abadar, if someone could please bring the mirror over so that you might work your holy miracle through it for its connection to the
Crossing the
queen."
floor, getting it, putting it back, and like placing it in her lap.
While this is happening, Aurelius speaks up, and like as you leave the room and are like grabbing it, you hear like your name being shouted.
I come back in.
I will say, Mason, this is a truly ancient ritual. So old, in fact, that it dates from before the Church of Abadar swung against sorcery.
Are you referring to? Is this a twinned miracle? Sorry, is this the twinned arts you're talking of? Is this the And I'm establishing the twinned arts as being like from the time where sorcery and faith would unite.
So
Mason's eyebrow twitches. Is this the forbidden ritual?
I will say,
This hasn't been done in 2,000 years.
I don't believe that anyone in recent memory has done this ritual. I don't know if it will work, but they say that if it does work, that we should be able to work in tandem. The power that the Lord gives me and the power that you can tap into, whatever that is. All I can say is it's worth a try.
All right. I think what this means, like physically speaking, is as you do this, I will inform the fiction of my participation in it, but I would like to help with sorcery if able.
Yeah, so what I'm looking to do, if allowed, is I was hoping to get a ritual test to link into my
to get started into the faith. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
I would like
so
to
this
help
graduated.
You with that.
So this is graduated test.
So I think it's up to you. I mean, based on the fiction I'm establishing and like all the stuff that we've had, I think it's totally reasonable for you to be like, this is an ancient ritual. It's really hard. You don't really know it. It's a high ob. But I could also see it being a graduated test where it helps me that way. So it's
why do you even know it in the first place?
Yeah, so I have the ritual skill. I also have religious history. And that's why I wanted to go out, seek this exorcist out, is because I learned it from one of his books, but I've never done it. I don't know anything about it. I needed his help.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So yeah,
in that case, I would like to assist you in your ritual.
Well, I think the way to do this would be this. It's a difficult test, but it's still graduated. It's just that the beginning obstacle is not ob 1. I feel like it's just right. And we'll just set the bar higher than what that is. And I feel like we should probably set the bar to 3. So it's an ob 3. So anything higher than an ob 3, your margin of success would play it into the roll.
Awesome.
I think that's reasonable.
So yeah. When you do this ritual, you speak your words in preparation. I think Mason moves counterclockwise to you in relevance to Natala. Making hand gestures and like signs and Naruto bullshit that's kind of like that has a significant symbolistic relevance to what you're doing.
Yeah, and like what like Aurelius is doing is he's like he like taps his staff on the ground and he probably like chalks the end of the holy staff and begins like chalking symbols onto the floor, like he like moves the carpet. And I think like he begins like this like very complicated symbolic thing of like different symbols around a key. And like while he's doing this, he's like he's probably praying in like a language that's like I guess we speak Brevish, right? Like the equivalent of like if you read like if somebody wants to read like Geoffrey Chaucer now, it like sounds really weird and odd to our ear. Like that's kind of what I'm imagining. Cool. And then like I think like as the ritual is finishing, like the nature of this ritual is Aurelius calls out in a clear voice and says, Spirit, you cannot hide from me in there. You cannot hide from a servant of the Lord. Who are you? Name yourself. And basically, so like I'm trying to link this in, but the idea is like this is supposed to be like the way for the priest. Like if you ever, I'm basing this off like The Exorcist. There's like that moment where like the priest like has to like engage with the demon.
Using symbolism and prayer to like dig a fish hook into it so that you can pull the wire. You can
so you can pull out once you have its name and stuff like that.
So he answers and he says, "My name is Richard Dawkins. Would you like an invite to my LinkedIn circles?"
All right.
Yeah. So ritual test. Ob 3. I would like to fork religious history.
Yeah. Cool. And this will be the last test before we go to break.
Awesome.
All right.
I would like to fork symbology.
Okay.
Abadar-wise.
Oh yeah, these are all good stuff.
Cool. And then I
take a helping die.
Okay. Do you have a skill that helps?
I mean, he's just praying.
Yeah. Symbolism.
Mostly, he's praying for our patience to overcome
symbology.
this.
I thought you were helping with sorcery, Mason.
I will help you on sorcery on your miracle test.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Cool. So that's 4 dice. Let's see how this goes. Base ob 3. Hey,
Got it.
Whew.
Two.
I'm gonna reroll those 6s and before we go to break here.
Okay, so you're gonna get 2 extra dice, 2 high advantage on this test.
That's huge. That's huge.
Yep.
Yes.
Cool. All right, guys. We'll see you on the other side for part 3 of Burning Crowns today.
Let's do it.